Hey, it's Mark Helfman with another update for subscribers to my newsletter. Crypto is easy. If you are not subscribed, check the link in the description below. Hop on over, and if you like what you see, please feel free to sign up. You can also subscribe to this YouTube channel. I'm not planning to become a YouTuber. It's not one of my dreams. It's not a goal. It's not even something that's very important to me personally. But if you're signed up, you will get the videos at the same time everybody else does. So today I have an update about a Bitcoin, Altcoin, DeFi. And if you've signed up to my publication to Crypto is Easy after reading my stuff on Hacker Noon, welcome. A lot of the stuff I publish on like Hacker Noon and really all the other outlets I publish on. It's more about the big themes in crypto, more on the philosophical, the perspective kind of angle. Crypto is Easy is a little more focused on the investment angle, looking at what's going on in the markets and the overall global situation, sharing my thoughts about shifts and trends in sentiment and activity, and how that influences Bitcoin, the altcoins, and just generally how to make the most of this bull market and make good decisions about what we're doing with our time and the money that we put into these markets. So if you're more into the philosophical stuff, I do talk about that a little bit, but I mostly focus on crypto as an investment with the Crypto is Easy newsletter, trying to look past the news, the day-to-day, and really look at what's really going on underneath, providing some perspective that I don't think a lot of people are going to give you if you follow some of the other more well-known people in this space. Now, recently I posted a video for premium subscribers with my take on all of these calls that I've seen for a drop in Bitcoin. It seems like everybody's calling for Bitcoin to drop. Now, I don't know if that's the vibe you're getting, but that's definitely the vibe I'm getting. And I wanted to show you the fear and greed index, which is a really interesting way to think about the markets and what's going on in the markets. So this is a gauge of fear and greed. People are fearful, they're scared, they're probably not buying cryptocurrency. People are greedy, they're probably buying. And that's basically what it measures. It's just a metric for understanding that. And you can see it's gone down pretty over this past week. And if you look at these bigger time frames, it's not like we're super scared and worried or anything like that. So but we're also not like people aren't really excited and exuberant. So I don't know. I mean, you can't really. I'm not saying it. Yeah, we could drop, and we could also blast off. I'm between this chart and some of the things that I showed the premium members. I'm not ready to make any conclusions, and really, I don't think about it. Markets move fast. People move slow. There's always a lag, a psychological lag between today's price and where people are emotionally. And the data that I look at is more focused on the on-chain stuff. I'm not going to get into it too much here, but really what's going on with the way people are using Bitcoin, because there are really strong correlations between how people use Bitcoin and how the price tends, they're very predictive about how the price tends to react in the big scheme of things, not on a day-to-day, week-to-week, but there's these big, massive movements that we see that result in, these 2-year bull markets or these 1-year bear markets. And right now, what I see suggests a lot of strength and conviction has come into the markets. And I'm sure you saw the news reports that the number of people holding 1 Bitcoin is at a record high. The number of people holding 0.1 Bitcoin is at a record high. I published an article recently documenting the $3 billion worth of Bitcoin gobbled up by Wall Street so far this year. Almost 2% of all Bitcoins now sit in the hands of brokerage accounts and hedge funds. These aren't trading accounts, although they will move money in and out of the market. They're not specifically for trading. These are long-term hodlers. They're these guys who are investing as part of a broad portfolio. And I could go into, I do go into more depth for the premium members. And so if you want to see that, some of the things that I'm looking at on that end, please feel free to subscribe to a premium membership. Bottom line right now, everybody's looking for a drop. That's fine. Bitcoin will do whatever it wants. And let me show you, just for sake of comparison, let me show you all the times that Bitcoin dropped 30% or more during a bull market, or really just 30% or more. And so every line on this chart, every arrow on this chart of Bitcoin's price shows a time where Bitcoin dropped 30%, in some cases 40%. And now this whole period right here, you can see this is around August, September of 2015. That was a massive crash, and that's what started this major bull run that took us up all the way here to 2018. And along the way, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 crashes of 30% or more. And if you include this market ending crash in 2018, that's 8 crashes of 30% or more over 2 years, about 2.5, less than 2.5 years. That's insane. That's insane. That's 3 crashes of 30 or 40% or more a year in a bull market. In fact, if you look at the bear market, we just had this long bear market. People still think we're in a bear market. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? If you include that as a bull market, you're talking about 2 a year in bear markets, 3 a year in bull markets. So like, the crashes, they freak people out. People are already calling for $2,000 Bitcoin, a disaster for the alts, capitulation, wipeout, this, that, the other thing. We'll see. I don't worry about the market week to week. I'm looking at these huge market cycles. Let me hop on to the trading chart. Come on. So I'm looking for huge market cycles. Like I don't really care about these little, drop like that. We drop here, things like that. I don't really care. Even bigger crashes like this don't really faze me. You're gonna get these, right? All those ones that I showed you, crash, crash, crash. I mean, that's all fine and good. My objective is to make sure we capture all of this, these massive moves up. Make sure we capture all of this, these massive moves up. So the 30%, 40% crashes, I mean, that's going to happen. We have to expect it, and we're going to live through it, and we're going to come out better for it. And if you don't keep a little bit of, cash in reserve or something you can sell to move into Bitcoin when we get to those dumps, this might be a good time to think about that. Also, I realize people are going bonkers over DeFi. Prices of DeFi tokens are flying, DeFi meaning decentralized finance, using cryptocurrency instead of banks to do loans and such. Look at this chart from this is Bitcoin KE, and you can see the attribution is to Dune Analytics. And look at the DeFi users over time. It's just exploding, and it's going parabolic. And we're just getting started. Like this technology is not even really viable for mainstream use. It's so buggy, but it's sucking up so much money and interest, and it's just getting started. We're right at the very beginning. And so I'm working on some content about this. I hope to start publishing about it later this year once I really wrap my head around the implications of the technology. It's a really interesting technology. I think it has incredible potential. And I love the fact that you're creating these permissionless, inclusive global networks that anybody can participate in, rather than what we have now, which are these closed insider networks where you got to know somebody to get the best opportunities. In the future, it's not going to be about who you know, or it's going to be about what app you use, what platform you use, and there's going to be all the transparency of blockchain. And once we get there, you'll still have information asymmetry, the power that comes from knowledge and access to people with knowledge. It'll just happen in a way that makes it hard to shut people out, which, if you ask me, that's a big improvement over what we do now. You can't fight human nature, but I'd rather you have a system that decentralizes and democratizes power, where anybody with passion and savvy can get the knowledge and tools they need to succeed, as opposed to now, where a lot of that's decided by who you know, what you look like, and what family you belong to. But we're many years away from DeFi being mainstream, like truly legit mainstream, like kind of the default. Although it'll grow in that time, I'm just talking about like mainstream as in that's your go-to. And so for me, and in the meantime, for me personally, they're just if you're looking for me to really start digging into DeFi, I'll put it like this. Right now, there are just a few too many risks for me to tinker around with DeFi. And every day there's another problem that crops up, some security vulnerability, a bug in a protocol, some kind of quirk that people will exploit. Like you see what happened to the comp token, where people basically are just recycling these different stable coins to the point where they're using these recycled stable coins to pump up the price of comp tokens. It's an insider game. And there's enough of that in crypto. I don't need to be associated with something like that. And there are also so many opportunities that I don't worry about like missing out on anything in that space right now. And everything that I'm talking about, it's legit. I'm not saying you can't trust these platforms or the people running them. I'm just saying that there are a lot of problems to sort out before I'm willing to risk my crypto participating. There's enough risk in this market. I don't need to add the operational risks, the market risks, regulatory risks, legal risks, and the platform risks, and all the other risks that come with using DeFi now. I do participate in liquidity pools, so I guess I use DeFi in that sense, but I'm not lending or borrowing. I'm just um, providing my crypto, which remains in my private, my personal wallet with my own private keys in my custody. But I'm basically giving it to people to be able to essentially support DeFi, but I'm not using it myself. And I'm in the fortunate position where I have very cheap lines of credit from equity and real estate, and those will pretty much cover any of my personal need for money. I'm also already fully allocated to crypto, so I don't really need DeFi. If crypto does what I think it will, I don't really need to add risk to accomplish my personal goals, but you're probably in a different place. So, don't let me stop you from using the DeFi platforms. They may be well worth the risk for you. It's just not something that I'm going to do. And since I'm not doing it, I don't really feel comfortable talking about it without that personal experience of really digging in and really like until I dig in and really learn about it. But it's a really fascinating concept. And for premium members, I'm trying to figure out some safe ways to use the technology and the platforms and the opportunities that come with that technology to really make the most of this bull market that I think we're embarking on. Oh, sorry guys, YouTube newbie. Oh man, there we go. That's more like it. Um, so look, as far as DeFi goes, I I will start writing about it a little more. Just need to really sink my teeth in. I know there's not a lot of information out there, a lot of really useful information about what's going on. People are still kind of catching up, and the content providers, I'm sure by the end of the year, will be putting out lots of really smart, legit, well-constructed content around DeFi. I'm going to make my own contribution, like I said, just after I wrap my head around it. And of course, if there's anything that I think you might find useful, I'll pass that along. Oh, and alts. So real quick, I still get questions about altcoins, which is great. I want more. Please send me your questions about alts. Everybody wants to know about alts. I have some really interesting projects I'm writing up, so stay tuned. In general, the altcoin market has a lot of energy behind it. Keep in mind, though, with the alts, people get attached to their project and they talk about users and usage and adoption and growth. But as far as like my general attitude is they're all speculative, all of them, even Ethereum, because it can't scale. And so when I'm writing about altcoins and thinking about altcoins and when I recommend an altcoins, I'm not thinking about the price a week or a month from now, but looking for projects that fill an important niche or serve a huge market in a way that I think success will bring value to the token. So I don't really worry about the 3 to 4x pumps. If your goal is to make those 50x, 100x, 1000x gains, you don't need to worry about those 3 to 4x pumps at all. I mean, if you're selling at a 3 or 4x pump, it's like starting a marathon, realizing you're ahead at mile 1 and then stopping. So why would you do that? If you're worried about losing money, put less money into altcoins. The potential is so huge, you don't have to risk that much. Just don't try to play the market unless you're a trader or you have some sort of insider information. That's really all I have to say about that for now. I hope this video was helpful. Maybe we get a big crash, maybe we don't. Don't sweat it. There are a lot of things to worry about right now. Crypto should not be one of them. As always, relax and enjoy the ride.